Hello, everybody, and welcome to Theta Thursday this week. Oh God, double audio. Okay, let me fix that. There we go. Always audio problems, just like Brisk. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Theta Thursday. It is the 18th of May. Jesus, fuck! It is almost June.
I know,
Um,
right?
it does not feel like it's been a month. Like I feel like we just finished April, but
It's only been half a month.
yeah, I know. To start off, it feels so much longer. Start off, I apologize for the mess that is my bedroom. I'm currently in the process of moving out of my parents and still packing up everything, so everything behind me is just an absolute fucking mess. But hello there. How
Hello.
how is it in the land of fucking Eve this evening for
Uh,
everyone?
well, it's a place. So today we have obviously Mifune. I am Don Rhea, your host, and then we have our special guest returning, Dave Archer, who's just gonna be hanging out with us today to talk about some things going on in Eve, and then probably get lost in some tangents along the way. I believe the big thing this week is some more expansion stuff coming out.
Yes, so we got some word about the expansion. Let me pull up the dev blog real quick and we can go over that because the main thing I believe was the visual updates. They brought out the art team brought out their visual update stuff. Um and I will say some of them are really fucking cool. So one of the changes that CCP is doing art team wise is the more ships are getting retexturized and stuff like that. I believe like all the shuttles and frigates will officially be changed with this expansion. The other biggest thing, the thing that I really love, is that they are changing missiles and how missiles land on the target. So now the explosion of a missile on a target will explode with the color of damage that is being done.
That's pretty cool.
So like, you're shooting inferno missiles at something, when it blows up on the ship model, it's going to be like a red fire thing that blows out. Which is going to be really really cool. It seems that CCP, as far as the ship models, are very much expanding on the lighting. And I guess let me see if we can move over to our screen share here, and I can toss up the video in a second here.
Don't know about you guys though, but I've never once thought, gee, I wish my shuttle looked a bit better.
Well, if you look here, and we'll see it here, is that like the Amar Crucifier, it's getting nice little LOD lights to go in front of it. So that's kind of a cool retexture, I think, for a lot of them. This is like the Maulish change. It's got brighter lights, a lot more flashy, and
Why would they need
yes,
brighter lights?
it's gonna be a performance impact. I know that's everyone's biggest worry, especially in like tie-dye situations, trying to grab nice screenshots and whatnot. But I think personally they're pretty cool. One of the biggest visual changes, honestly, is the Marauders. So they are changing how the Marauders are going to look, inside and outside of Bastion. So this is what the Kronos looks like in Bastion. So one of the things that I've learned being in wormhole space now is that when we are doing Marauder combat, we're obviously looking for Marauders that are in Bastion so that they can't receive remote reps, and that's when we chunk through them. The only indication we really had that something was in Bastion was more like the tiny ish visual changes, but the majority telltale sign that a Marauder is Bastioned is that it's not moving with the rest of its fleet.
I
It's
mean, you
stationary.
could you could just look at it like
Well,
it
that's what I'm
already has
saying.
a
It,
visualization to
it
show
it's
that it's in
getting
Bastion.
it's getting better visualization though. so that it's going
for the blind ones. I get it.
It's going to be incredibly obvious when a Marauder is Bastion. This is the Golem Bastion, which I think is really cool. The Vargar Bastion is probably my favorite because that shit looks badass.
That looks dope. Also, this would help in... do you have the Paladin one?
Yes, the Paladin's about next after this one.
This will help in nullsec as well because of Pandemic Horde's...
So this is the Paladin. This is the Paladin in Bastion. It's got blue lights. The bottom of the Paladin expands out. So I'll play that before and after again because they go really quickly over the Paladin. So you can see that with the base Paladin module, the bottom here extends out in Bastion, and in Warp as well. But these blue lights inside of that bottom portion are really gonna shine. It's really gonna shine when it comes into Bastion.
Apparently, Dawn is too quiet, which is never a complaint.
I don't think I'm talking much though. Does it matter? But I don't know why his thing always hates my audio.
Yeah,
but
I don't.
Only on this show, not other shows.
I don't know why. It's probably because of how my OBS is configured weird.
Mifune, do you have her turned down?
I have her turned down slightly, but I adjust every show. I don't know why she gets... It's like her audio changes before the show and then after the show starts.
I don't know, just special, I guess.
But we're getting new animations. This is like the Vargar. This is really, really cool how when it enters warp and stuff, these fins come out. These upper fins come out, which is really fucking cool, I think. Here goes the missile impact. This is the VFX for the missile impacts. This is the current missile impacts based on what's going on. So that's the current way that missiles go. Here's all the new missile impacts, which are fucking amazing. Like, these are pretty damn cool.
I'm guessing the far right is thermal.
So this is or thermal, EM, explosive, and kinetic.
I don't think... thermal's got to be the fiery ball.
Possibly.
That's got to be EM on the far left.
They have another infographic that they showed that was... They have another infographic. I think it's in the overall video where they really... And I'm going to mute it because we don't want to get copyrights from CCP.
That'd be really funny, honestly.
Well, I'm just... I don't want to take chances.
It would be funny.
Okay, here comes their missile impacts. So this is CCP talking about it. These are the info. This is it. So this is shooting infernal. That's EM.
Yeah, the one.
That's kinetic. Like that.
I like that they're actually big enough to spot. I suppose they're firing heavy missiles. So.
Yeah, no, but this is explosive. Like, that's pretty fucking cool, in my opinion.
It looks more like an implosion going to an explosion.
Yeah. Let's see. They also seem to. This is They actually gave away a little bit of a hint during this next part about the new content that's going to be coming with the expansion. So the biggest thing we're getting is volumetric clouds in the playable space area. So for years, CCP has put the volumetric clouds in the skyboxes with the nebulas, and now they are putting them in space, and you're going to be able to fly through the clouds just like you do in abyssal space. But these are going to be the same clouds that you fly through, that you would technically fly through with the nebulas and the skyboxes. And apparently, all of these volumetric clouds are going to be in a new thing that is coming.
Is it like Abyssal 2.0?
I don't think it... A lot of people... So, it depends on how you look at it. The way that they described it is like... I can't tell if it's an anomaly rework or Abyssals. Because when it comes to Abyssals, Anoms, Crab Beacons, CCP calls all of 3 of them dungeons. and they referred to it as dungeons.
It'd be cool if like a gas, if you want to harvest gas and literally, rather than just there's a little gas cloud in front of you, you were inside a nebula.
Yeah, you're inside a nebula, and they're calling them the Homefront operation sites.
Hey, Summer.
Good evening.
Everybody, welcome Sumner. He's
Sumner!
coming to hang out with us. He was gracious enough to accept my invitation, but yes, we are talking about the expansion, visual expansion, with all of the different damage types, the bastion changes, and the nebulas. Have you been able to look at them yet?
I had a brief gander at them. I'm of mixed minds about it. I appreciate the fact that they're continuing to update the game, the graphics, etc. I see it as a necessity in order to keep things fresh and new. But at the same time, I want more sand in the sandbox.
Yeah.
They've added some sand already. I think we got our sand. I think we're gonna have to just be happy with the sand we got.
Just polish the
I
sand
would-
up for a little while.
Well,
I would love something that shakes up the whole, well, everything. Like, because nullsec for the last the whole time I've played it has been the same. Go one summit, get upset with each other, then go home.
well, see,
Well,
one of the fun things is that I know it's confirmed that a SOV system rework is supposed to happen within the 2 expansions this year. That's like the estimate. So the real question is this expansion going to end up being the complete SOV rework?
Yeah, but are they going to rework, or are they just going to go? We reworked it by tweaking the numbers again.
No, I think it's going to be a new SOV system. I think it's going to be a completely new sovereignty system. And if they mixed that with a force projection nerf, oh boy, y'all would have a blast.
They really don't need a nerf force projection anymore.
Yeah, like
The only reason why ours is so high is because we're organized and our enemy is not.
Yeah, I've heard rumors about the SOV changes as well. The faction warfare. Well, the faction warfare I heard was supposed to be an early blueprint for it, and they wanted to roll it out.
Oh, then I would not want to do that as. I would not want to be our SOV.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn that faction warfare mechanics right now.
I don't think CCP. Excuse me. I don't think CCP would move it in the same way of faction warfare where you have complexes or whatever. But I think the blueprint that they're going to take from faction warfare is things like the frontline systems and what kind of bonuses they get. You know, certain sites that hostiles can run in order to lower the ADM, for example, to make it easier for the attacking side. You know, stuff like I feel like
along those lines that would allow you to shift timers in your favor.
Exactly.
I could see that being useful as well. I think there has to. It's very difficult, right? Because I think the defender should have some sort of an advantage, but right now, I mean, you can spend trillions fighting over a single system. That's not something that's tenable.
I think they should change it where it's not per system but per constellation. Just purely because if you have to fight across the whole damn constellation about 8 times, it's same. It's not really different content. It's the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
I mean, that could also have ramifications for things like the entry nullsec groups, like the people that are venturing out into nullsec. If the SOV system was to be where you take it per constellation rather than per system, that could possibly, in theory, on paper, clean up some of this empty space that nullsec has.
It could work in the small group's favor quite a lot. It would make it less of a pain in our ass and more advantageous for them to take SOV.
And I think it also needs to be some sort of mechanic that encourages alliances to build up rather than spread out.
Yeah, but remember, like, they've now made 2 systems that require going out and up. They don't know what they want. Because if you go up, then you get people that are hyper, like, then you've got all these dead space. So it's like, oh, let's make them spread out. So it's easier to catch people who are on the fringes and the edges. Oh, but now it's oppressive to the small group because they can't get that one piece of space to hold on to. They get pushed out by the owners of the region. right?
Well, that's what I'm
Like,
saying. I
there's
think it should
no
be
winning.
it should be expensive. There should be some sort of diminishing returns to holding more Sov.
Yeah. At the moment, it costs you more, but we just laugh at the cost. Like,
Right, and it should be like an exponential increase in cost, right? Like if you want to hold 3 regions, that shouldn't be like even feasible.
oh, by the way, King Wolf may pop in. He
Who?
wanted to
Is-
learn more about Eve because he's not an Eve player. So I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
come join in.
Listen to us talk about things that you won't understand.
I will say, wormhole updates are coming. The wormhole space is very fun, very fun.
For now.
I mean, so for a complete and utter meme, we took Sov in Wicked Creek. just like, you know, we were fucking around one night and Mark was drunk and he bet that we couldn't take nullsec Sov. We now hold, I think it is like 2 or 3 systems in Wicked Creek.
That's a bad bet because he bet that you couldn't take nullsec Sov that none of the powerhouses in nullsec will touch.
Well,
So
yeah, which is why
eventually-
we could take it. I mean, I don't know. We've been having fun when the whole Southern drama happens. When the whole Southern drama has been great to read about and like listen about. It's just been, I'm like, this is peak Eve. Like, this is what nullsec should be. You know, backstabs, new allies, you know, empty promises, more backstabbing. Like, it's just, it is so fun to read about, but I know it's absolute AIDS to be a part of.
I will say, when we were against them, on the note of new allies and backstabs, when we were against them, I gave Arcadius a lot of shit, but he's pretty good.
The thing about my experience with Arcadius Soul is that he very much has the wormhole mindset that I'm learning, with, you know, having smaller numbers and still kicking ass and taking names, because Arcadius Soul will not go 75% DPS, 15 or 10% Logi, 5% boosts. He'll go fucking 60% DPS, 30% Logi, and the tiny, you know, minority of support stuff. He will bulk up his Logi numbers to the point where he can practically assign 1 Logi to 2 guys. And
Yeah, but unfortunately for us, I would love to have 30% Logi. Sonri,
Yeah,
you'd love
you're-
to have that much Logi, wouldn't you? You're
You
just
get
not going to
lucky if
get
you
it
get
in
tw-
goons.
You're lucky if you get it 20%. But we're still better than everybody else because we always have to make the most out of the least.
If you don't have as much Logi as them, then just kill them twice as fast.
Just either kill their Logi or just remove their DPS.
so I will say, and we talked a little bit about it last week with the wormhole scene. Widows are fucking overpowered. It's a weird statement to say, but burst jamming widows are just like, we can't. There is no beating a 4 billion isk brick tanked armor widow with burst jams that sits at 0 on the hostile Logi, and it's just
Does it
like,
have smart bombs?
it's got smart bombs too.
Okay.
It's literally like, that's it. That's it. Your Logi's, if the fucking hostile widow gets on your Logi in wormhole space, that's it. You have no more Logi. Not because they're dead, but because they're sitting there doing jack fuck all.
On the note of things getting smashed,
Smash that like and subscribe button.
that
Oh my
and
god.
and fraternities dreadfully.
Oh my god, the Turner fight. Let's talk about the Turner fight. I got home from the bank that day. I saw Bomber's Bar pinging out being like, hey, we're not going to it, but if you want to just go, it's in Turner. Here's a wormhole. Fucking grab a bomber and Jita and go. And so I'm pinging the turbo dudes like, who wants to kill a shit ton of dreads and whore on them?
I wasn't personally there. Sonria, were you there?
I was not, no.
Oh my
You were everywhere.
god. It was a fucking bloody fight, man.
Yeah, I saw the battle report. It was over 1 trillion isk. And Snuff definitely came out. Not Snuff. Fraternity definitely came out worse on that one.
Well, you know the story behind it, right? You know why they dropped the dreads?
No, I wasn't.
So Fraternity, my understanding, and someone correct me if I'm wrong because I've only gotten half the story, but my understanding is that for whatever reason, Fraternity wants to put structures in Turner so that they can use the fucking like wormholes galore to their advantage. Even though Turner's been tweaked and leads to more deep wormhole space rather than case space to case space. Turner has been kind of altered a little bit. We think silently altered because most of the wormholes in Turner now are leaning to like C3s and C4s rather than.
It's because everybody's rolling them because everybody's using them to get to null space, mate.
Yeah, right. Yeah, fair enough. But so Fraternity wanted to put structures down. They anchored in Astra House, and this was the time for the Astra to actually anchor and get its core. Fraternity brought a whopping 100-man TFI fleet to defend it. And a lot of low-seckers are living in Turner, if you didn't know already. Snuffed Out being a huge one. And they've been doing stuff like running bait crab beacons in Turner for somebody to come along and notice that, oh shit, there's a capital out, let's go kill it. And the next thing you know, Snuff drops a bunch of shit for free kills. So all of Lowsec was like, fuck no, Fraternity's not coming into Turner. So they mega blobbed Frat with a shit ton of subcaps, and then Frat was like, well, we're outgunned, might as well drop dreads. So Frat sinoed in dreads, and Snuffed Out got word that they were about to drop dreads, and Snuffed Out, you know, they do what those boys do best. And fucking counter dropped.
Yeah, and then they did, and then Frat were dumb enough not to expect us and In It to turn up on Snuff's side as well.
Dude, it was hilarious. Frat, at one point, there was like 270 Frat dreads tackled. It was amazing.
One day, Horde and Pam Fam and Frat and all that will get that if they ever fight Snuff, then they're just going to be fighting Snuff and us because.
Well, the same thing happens to Goons, right? Like, the last time Goons tried to go into low sec in a serious nature, they just got their asses handed to them by Snuffed. I think it's just a general thing of null-seckers do not fuck with capitals in low sec.
Well, it's not just that. Like, Snuff are still friends within it, kind of, so.
I mean, yeah, true.
And the enemy of my enemy, you know.
Yeah, I mean, hell, Turbo Feed. We just got together with fucking Wingspan to go third party wormhole structure fight the other night, and we fucking hate Wingspan. Fuck Wingspan, they're horrible.
I have no personal vendetta against them, but I did find out. So we've been messing around in faction warfare this past week or two. A, faction warfare is weird, and B, somehow I'm in faction warfare with Verticio. You know him, Dave? Yeah. I'm like, I want to shoot him, but I can't now. On that character specifically. But we were talking about Snuffed. We watched, I believe, a Snuffed Out Varger shooting people off of an undock. So someone dropped a dread on it and shot it and killed it. And then Snuff dropped like 6 dreads to kill his dread.
Why do people still think it's a good idea to attack Snuff in those several dreads?
Well, I mean, like, you know, I'm glad that he killed the Varger. He was being a dick, but, you know.
Well, yeah, but you've got one Varg on the undock. Okay, cool. Now you've got like 15 dreads on the undock.
Yeah, no, I know. I was just like, I was having fun watching the party at that point because I was like, I knew what was gonna happen. I didn't know that the guy that they killed was the Varger was snuffed, but it's like, oh yeah, the guy came back, and I'm like, oh, well that makes sense. And also,
I'm gonna be honest. If I had dreads in range and you killed my fucking Varger with a dread, of course I'm gonna.
Yeah, it was pretty funny to watch. But we've been out there, lots of fights. Basically, if you didn't know it, O and I's are busted. Apparently,
O and I's are fucking. O and I's
Well,
and Caldari Navy hookbills are fucking.
those are
busted.
the two number
O&I's
one ships I see.
O&I is a bus, as in like Ospreys, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, because there's two ships that could.
Yeah,
But
no one talks about the
O&I's
Omen Navy.
O&I's are busted until you give them to Mist.
That's true. Well, there's a different, level there going on too, and how they're fit. Because in low spec, they're fit to like kind of like fight either in 2 or 3 or solo, versus Mist throwing cheapest dumbass on the planet to throw themselves at a brick wall. But yes, Caldari Navy hookbills and Osprey Navies are the creme de la creme, apparently, at least in the area I'm in.
See, one of the fun things was earlier this week we got super bored because no other wormhole groups were on to PvP, and we had a direct hole to delve in our wormhole. So we were like, fuck it, we'll take some Nighthawks, maybe do some ESS shenanigans, maybe, fuck around, find out, right? And Zintage drops the fucking, the fucking martial law on us. And, we're sitting there drunk as shit, happy as fuck, just laughing our asses off. And next thing you know, I'm talking with Zintage afterwards, and he's like, that went from 5 Nighthawks and intel to oh shit, it's Mifune real fucking quick.
I baited out some NC dudes the other day with my marshal, so I jumped to the beacon with the system they're in, and they didn't compute that a marshal jump into a beacon deliberately in their system on grid with them might be bait. So they warp in on me. I immediately point their Proteus with 2 scrams and a long point and web him, and just drop a ton of blocks and dreads for Masky on him.
Always take the bait.
We only killed the Proteus, but it was worth it.
See, the real funny thing is that we were about to jump a gate, and our tackle scout was like, holy shit, I just tackled a marshal. And I'm like, what idiot goon jumped his marshal to take on 12 Nighthawks and a bunch of Logi? And then the fucking marshal, we're on our way back to him, we're burning through a bubble. And then he's like, the marshal MJD'd, he's warping to you guys now. And as soon as the marshal popped up on grid and I saw it was Zintage, everyone's like, get on the marshal. And I'm like, guys,
like, no, we should leave.
I'm like,
to end precisely one way.
I will be back shortly. My food is just arrived.
So speaking of bait, we had in Delve this past week. I don't know if you were there, Sonrir, but Kodmi got baited out some I'm assuming P-Horde dreads. Who tried to kill his Titan.
I was there. I managed to get on a devoted kill with my Titan.
Yeah, I was trying to get on kills, but it was not happening because everything was dying too fast. But yeah, so he had his Titan drifting or sitting on an what was it? Asbel? No, it was an Asbel.
Maybe it was something like that. Yeah.
No, it was either a Raitaru or an Asbel. It might have been an Asbel, but he had it sitting there, and this 30-man Kiki fleet starts pushing it, trying to get it off the station, and then it gets off tether, and then they drop some 11 dreads on it, and then all of a sudden you just watch at least 20 Titans initially just coming out of the ether, and then more and more and more and more coming as they start getting volleyed, and the Titan got tickled.
No, so one of the funny things that reminds me of is a couple of nights ago, Mark announced how we were gonna have a new Leshak Doctrine in Turbo, and we were like, give us the fit because we want to look at it, right? He's like, nah, I'll give it out on the Soda this weekend, and we're like, but we want it now. And he's like, no, I'm flying it tonight to test it out, and then we'll get a finalized version during the Soda. So then Mark had to go AFK for 10 minutes because of family stuff. So what did we do? We start bumping his Leshak off the Fortizar undock while also having an alt and a ship scanner Heron trying to fucking scan it so that we could just steal the fucking fit. He comes back and he's on orange tether and he's like, nope. And it was like
really
the last fucking second.
It'd be even funnier is if like he knew you guys were gonna do that and had the wrong fit intentionally on to get you guys to scan him.
We'll never know.
Just invest and buy all this shit, then find out later. Whoopsies.
We'll never know. It was hilarious though. And then of course we got the Mark Resurrectus rage speech during rolling. That is just it is peak content listening to Mark Resurrectus actually get pissed off at somebody. It's like John, but if John was like a 5-year-old who was screaming at his mom.
Wait, John's not?
John's not? I love John. I don't know why
John is. So John is great. Now, like I had big problems with John at one point, but now we get along really well. Like, I think he's less stressed now.
Listen, John,
that's good.
I think all organizations need a few people who aren't going to sugarcoat it.
I think the funniest thing that we ever did was we have a voice clip of Mark screaming that he is the glizzy gulper of cope.
Hey, so Wolf just noticed we've been apparently streaming to the demonologist category for the last half hour.
Hot.
Oof.
That happens sometimes.
That doesn't matter.
How
was your stream this weekend, by the way?
Mine was really good.
Dawn Sumo is live.
Nice. Hopefully, some good bashos.
I don't know. I've been trying to find out if Enho is playing this month, but I can't find his schedule. Did he?
He got injured a couple of, either last year or something, and I don't know if he's still able to, if he's recovered.
If he's still able to participate, yeah.
Being tiny,
Well,
you run the risk of just getting squished at some point.
Should have seen fucking. I was watching it last night, and there was just this fucking skinny kid that was maybe 110 pounds, and I was like, "This kid is about to get his world rocked."
Why are you sumo wrestling?
What?
Why are you sumo wrestling?
I'm not sumo.
We're watching it.
I'm not 110. No, that's generous. That's generous. I'm not 110 pounds. Fuck no.
105?
No.
I have no concept of how much. Hold on.
I'm like 165, 170.
Fucking hell, that's really light. That is really light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have to convert it to stone then?
Yeah.
He had to convert it to British.
I got my Echo to do it.
Did you say, Alexa, tell me this number?
Yeah, I said, Alexa, what's 110 pounds in stone?
Dear Lord. Does it talk back to you in British?
No, I think it's the... Hang on. Alexa, what's 110 pounds in stone?
110 pounds is about 7 stone 13 pounds.
No, that's the British one.
See, what's really funny is I have the Australian Siri for my iPhone, and all my friends, they're like, "Why do you have it set as Australian?" And I said, "Because I want to, damn it!" Like
I need to feel something. Let me have this, please. 171 pounds. Tons instead of pounds. So. What else happened this week? I've been playing dinosaurs. D&D.
You're still on that one.
What? Yeah. Listen, a game where I get to pretend to be everybody's mom, which I basically am an Eve all the time anyways, is a lot of fun. And I get to murder things.
I play a ranger in D&D.
In D&D, I started out always playing rogue. But we play Pathfinder right now, and Pathfinder rogues are absolutely worthless. They don't do anything. So I'm a fighter right now. Actually, my current character, so we're doing kind of like a a short one, is a bird, like a strix, which is a winged person with like eagle feet. But she is delusional. She thinks she's an angel sent by Ragathiel to hand out justice and vengeance against those who would oppress people who are made fun of for not belonging. And she is absolutely committed to this. Holy damage and everything. So I've been having fun with that. So I'm gonna have to go back to my other one, which I think is a sorceress. I don't know. I had died recently. I don't keep track of my characters anymore. I think I only have 2 characters that I actually really enjoyed playing, and the rest like either were like meh or had funny moments.
And I have not played in ages. My boy currently plays though.
I don't know. I've been replaying the BioShock series recently.
I picked up Far Cry 6 when it was on sale a couple weeks ago. Been working my way through that.
I never imagined you as a father. I don't know why.
I recently just beat the Spider-Man, the 2018 Spider-Man game on PC, and I gotta say it was actually a lot of fun.
The one from like 2014 or whatever?
2018. 2014 was more like 2014 was more like what was that one? That was more the fighting style game one. This was the story driven Spider-Man game.
So instead of, you know what I'm looking forward to? I will not play it, but I will absolutely watch the movie of it because it comes out every time. Mortal Kombat 12 coming out this year, and
Kombat 12. Wow.
Yeah. Well, they made a bunch, right? Like they had the Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, Vengeance, like, and all these other spin-offs and shit all throughout from the 90s through early 2000s. And then they were like, okay, we need to reboot this shit because we have gone off the fucking deep end and we need to bank in on the PS3's graphics because this was like the first PS3 game they were going to make. So they did Mortal Kombat 9. Like they just kind of counted up with all these sequels and everything. Said, okay, we're at 9. No more weird names. We're numbers. So they made 9, and 9 was literally redoing the entire like first 3 games stories, but having kind of like some weird like time skip in so they could kind of adjust things to how they wanted to take the story. So I watched that whole movie. It's like 9 hours long of like
they should have done
cutscenes.
like a Mortal Kombat Millennium Edition, Mortal Kombat Vista.
Yeah, no, they got a lot of shit right. So then it's like a 9-hour plus cutscene movies of movies. Like, so I'll sit there and watch the story because who cares about the fighting? Like the story's hilarious and it's fun. Then Mortal Kombat 10 came out and I watched that entire thing. That's like 6-hour long movie. And then Mortal Kombat 11 came out. Graphics super cool. And that one was like, first it had its original story, and then they were like, okay, now we're making Mortal Kombat 11 Annihilation or whatever, which was I think it was Annihilation. They redid the Mortal Kombat 11 story from the villains coming in instead and made it like the villains winning, which was awesome. And so you got a whole nother amount of story. Sindel's hot. A lot of fun. So I'm waiting for 12. I just watch the movies. I don't play the game. I can't. Fighting games get boring after about 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, nothing else is changing here. Let's just get it. I could enjoy the movies the entire time. I don't need story. I need the gameplay. Is there any other games coming out this year?
I mean, the games that are coming out, yes. Games that are coming out that are not going to be super disappointing, I don't know about that. Because the amount of bullshit that has come out of the gaming industry in the past 2 or 3 weeks has been absolutely horrible, right? It started with Star Wars CPU fucking Survivor, because that's what that game is at this point. It's a fucking $70 benchmarking tool. that's still fucking shit, right? Redfall came out and was awful, right? COD Modern Warfare is going to shit. Overwatch 2, the entire reason that Blizzard moved Overwatch to a new engine was so that they could do this whole PvE storyline thing, and all of that just got canceled this week. All of it.
They weren't going to be able to do it, or
nobody knows why. People think it's because of the Activision Blizzard takeover by Microsoft, but like literally all the whole fucking reason that Blizzard made Overwatch 2 was so that they could do these new things with the game, and all of them got canceled. So it's literally just the same as Overwatch 1 at this point, except fucking free to play. And then immediately after the whole debacle of canceling their entire new storyline crap, they release one of the most expensive battle passes that the gaming industry has seen so far, right? Like it's
how much is their battle pass?
I think it's like $30 or something for the new one.
Yeah.
Right? Like what the fuck?
We love it.
Like you gotta love the gaming industry right now. It is so ass cheeks. Like, yes, am I excited for new games to come out? Yes. Am I cautiously optimistic that at least one of those games this year won't be a total cop-out or shit fest? I doubt it. Like,
well, I did hear that the online internet spaceship game EVE Online is going to see some updates.
No.
It's gonna be a half-ass project like the mobile app that hasn't had an update in 2 years.
Has anyone done the beta or seen the beta for Diablo?
So King Wolf is a big player. The mod in chat, he's
Didn't
really
we just
big
do
in
a
Diablo.
stream last week about Diablo 4?
Yes,
I think I did catch a little bit, but I thought that's what it was. What are your thoughts? Any good?
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
I don't know. So Diablo,
I'm not a Diablo player.
I played the first beta with King Wolf and Garrick, and Diablo 4 looks also very cautiously optimistic. I think like from a gameplay perspective and a storyline perspective, it is phenomenal. Like so far, what we have seen is phenomenal. The number one concern is whether or not we're gonna get a repeat of Diablo Immortal in like the full game.
That was like their mobile version or something, wasn't
it? Yeah, that was their mobile version.
There was a bunch of yeah, that's right. I don't. There wasn't like a bunch of microtransactions, some bullshit like that.
Yeah, so the whole thing with Diablo Immortal that is still the problem that is still going on. It's just the sheer pay to win. And honest to God, if you want a good laugh, there is a fantastic video that Asmongold did a few months ago where he was talking to the largest Diablo Immortal spender in the world. Dude spent almost I think it was upwards of 6 to 7 million US dollars on Diablo Immortal. And his power level...
How much fun could that game be?
His power level in that game was so high that he would queue for the skill-based PvP matchmaking on his phone, and he could not get into a match because his skill level was just so high compared to everybody else that he physically could not PvP in that game because he was just the top player.
You know, that's like a guy bragging that he's got a 12-inch,
Well, yeah, but
that doesn't actually fit anywhere.
That's the funny thing. The guy spent an entire 45-minute YouTube rant to Blizzard that they gotta either fix it or give him a refund on his $7 million investment into their product. Because like he bought his way to the end. It was mathematically impossible for him to get anything better than what he already had.
That's where you're like, someone needs to get a life.
Well,
I can't imagine spending that much money on games. I understand some people I know, like, they prefer to just spend the money because they value their time more. But
right, but
more power to you at that point. But like, dear Lord.
And the funny thing is that the majority of that money he spent on Diablo Immortal was profits that he made by streaming Diablo Immortal.
Well, that's just making the game work for you at that point.
Right? Can't even be angry.
Yeah, I mean, like, hey, you know.
But eventually,
I stream your game, I make money, I spend money in your game, I keep streaming.
right? Like it sounds like the perfect cycle, you know.
I've spent a lot of money on Eve.
Yeah,
Right.
I have, but I've also gotten like you know, months or years out of it at this point.
I credit card warriored my first vendetta. The amount of plex I bought and the amount I spent on that was unbelievable.
I think over the entire course of my Eve career, I've maybe bought 5,000 bucks.
I have maybe spent probably $200 or $300 on Plex, and that's it. I don't really buy to inject. I think the only time I really did it, the only time I really credit card warriored that hard was during the Delph War, when eventually, you know, post M2, it was like, oh, okay, we're down to my last 5 billion. Might want to do something about that.
How are you guys so bad at making money?
Time.
Time.
I don't have any of it.
Right. I don't know.
I'm
Like,
just saying,
fleet,
there's a way to make
fleet
money.
stuff's my jam. So you know, that's not really something you earn a lot doing.
I mean, I'll tell you what. I died to my first Avenger spawn this week in Wormhole Space, and I cried a little bit. And I don't think I've legitimately been upset about a ship lost in like 5 years. so actually, like, losing to 10 billion-esque paladins to something I can't control, it is just one of those things where I was like, okay, maybe it's time to play something that's not EVE Online for a day before I punch my fucking monitor in.
Yeah, I lost a ship last year that I cared about, but it's mostly been good since then.
Well, see, with like Avenger spawns and Wormhole Space, you can't do anything about an Avenger spawn.
Yeah, but Sonria could have done something about
the Leviathan,
Yeah,
but Sonria was just stupid.
Hold on. I got this, boys. Warp to a gate,
well,
boson, do nothing, and then die.
I suppose the
Didn't do
point is,
nothing.
Sonria could have not done something to save that with Leviathan, and that was not warp to the gate.
Well, the good.
Yeah.
In fairness, I didn't warp directly to the gate.
Oh, sorry. The gate grid.
I was like 100 clicks off the gate.
So I will say, the Zernitra is overpowered. Oh my god.
Yeah, but it can't hit the broadside of a barn if anything moves. Mifune.
Oh, Dawn, did you not hear about the fight we had last week where Mark II shot a fucking
but
6 bill ISK?
How much does that Zenitra cost?
His Zenitra costs about 30-40 billion.
Then it's not overpowered at all. Not everybody rolls about in a 30 or 40 billion ISK Zenitra.
Wormholers too.
Yeah, but that's a very small proportion of the game.
I'll tell you what, it's just an absolute blast just being able to sit here and lose 1 billion in PvP and not give a fuck. It's great.
If I actually put effort into my industry, I could not give a fuck. Actually,
I mean, I watched Dave lose a vendetta.
Yeah, I could not give a fuck. Unless I lose a faction titan, nothing is going to top what I have lost. So why do I care? It's like my marshal, I just go, anybody got on a parcel? Okay, cool, YOLO, and jump to a beacon apparently and bait and see.
Oh, mine was a little bit risk earlier this week. A little bit of a pucker moment.
We all need a good pucker. Every
So
now and
I
then.
think my
turns out a marshal is good at tanking, but you got to catch those fax reps.
So what happened with my paladins is that we were looking for a decent crabbing wormhole to go, you know, make some money. And we're like, okay, we enter the C5. It's got like 2 sites. Fantastic. That's 30 minutes of crabbing. That's going to get us nothing. So we keep rolling and we get this hole that has like 15 sites and we're like, jackpot, like fucking Chad moment here. So we're crabbing. We're on like the 3rd site. mashing D-scan, nothing showing up on D-scan. And then next thing you know, fucking random saber pops up on D-scan. We're like, all right, D-Bastion, let's get the fuck out of here. Killing the tackle rats, all that good stuff. And that saber was on our paladins about 3 seconds after we saw it on D-scan, which was a little weird. It bubbled us. Next thing you know, a fucking phoenix warps in on a 6,000 kilometer perch, and we're like, okay, that's it. We're done. We're done. So the phoenix sits there. The rats warp away. The Avenger rats spawn in, and we're just like, yep, bye paladins, bye bye. Like we literally felt like Will Smith in Independence Day when he's just in the alien ship, just bye bye, see y'all later. And we died, and it sucked. But that saber warping that quickly, we were like, holy shit. Like, that was definitely a pucker moment.
Hyperspatial saber, yeah.
Why don't you explain to some of us who maybe don't know what an Avenger rat is?
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Rats are right
yeah. So in wormhole space, the way that it works is that most of the time when you are crabbing in a wormhole site, it is just normal sleepers and stuff like that. But in nullsec, you know, you guys have your crab beacons, whereas in nullsec or in wormhole space, if you want to crab in a capital ship in wormhole space, you warp to the site, you warp to a normal site with your capital ship. All of the normal subcap ships will then warp off the grid, and instead come these Avengers. They call themselves the Avenger Rats, and they're basically drifter rats on complete steroids. It is damn near impossible to tank a Avenger Rat with a subcap. It would require triage reps in order to... It would require a triage rep to do it. Even something like 5 Guardians cannot tank through Avenger guns. Let alone that Avengers also newt with the power of 3 Titans. So it is awful to get dropped on by Avengers. And when you're crabbing in a capital, you're at range, and you're just letting the rats slowly drift into you and then killing them with your hull guns. But basically, if the Avenger Rats are on grid, any subcap ship that's there is just considered dead at that point. Especially because when you're in a Marauder, if you de-Bastion, then the Avenger Rat will instantly switch to any ship that is not tackled, and it will tackle it.
So what you're saying is when you warp a capital in, the Avengers assemble?
Yes. Very, very much so. Very much. And so basically when you are in your home wormhole and you see some fucker crabbing your sites that are in your home hull, it is a very wise idea to grab a cloaky alt and just burn it for 15 minutes, because your average wormhole site takes 20 to 23 minutes to do, even when dual boxing. So you sit there on a cloaky alt, you're burning out like hundreds of kilometers, and then you sit there, you warp in a saber, you drop a bubble, and then you warp your capital to the perch. The capital is 100% safe. The capital can even warp off the grid if it wants to, because once the Avengers are spawned, they're not going away until they die or the site despawns. So all you have to do is warp a hyperspatial phoenix in there for about 2 minutes, and then that's it. You're fucking over the guys that were crabbing in your home site. You don't have to fight them. You don't have to worry about one of their response fleets coming killing you, because once the Avenger Rats are there, subcaps are just dead.
Oh, so every time you say Avenger Rats, I'm just thinking of like
the Avengers
Endgame.
Assemble, yeah.
Yeah, the Hulk coming in.
Yeah, and like all the portals opening.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, I hate to say this name, but Nolak Ataru is the guy that manages the math spreadsheet right now that does all the wormhole stuff. So, to give you a sense of things, the upgraded Avengers have a 15-point scram, have a 1-point web, over 75 newting power, a 30,000 sig radius, 3,000 speed, spawn roughly 20 kilometers away from the middle of the site, and a 3,000 and a 300 vertical velocity. They deal about 1,210 DPS per hit, and that's per gun. They have about 4 guns. They have a 75 to 80% resistance across the board with 250,000 armor points, with a pretty much maximum of 1.4 mil EHP total. So it is possible to kill them. It's just the resistance profile makes it a little AIDS. They only drop about 20 mil of loot extra per Avenger that dies. If you were to do nothing but farm Avengers, then you are making about 17 ISK per minute. So the money is so-so. The real thing with Avengers is the capital thing. Like the capitals clear the site, they clear the Avengers, they make extra money.
All right. Well, we are at the end of our show, so let's recap, or let's give everybody their final shout-outs, thoughts for the week. So we will start at the top, Mr. Dave Archer. Any final thoughts or shout-outs?
I need to change my name.
You want to change your name to what?
Yes, I'm not at the top.
Oh, yeah. Tough nuggies.
So, I don't really have any, other than if anybody's watching and you like live streaming, INN is recruiting.
Okay. Good. Mifune, any final... Actually, we'll do Sunrir first. Sunrir, any final thoughts or shout-outs for the week?
Shout out to all my skirmish commanders who are still carrying the torch, running roams, keeping active. And final thoughts is I'm eagerly awaiting news next week for more sand in the sandbox.
And then Mifune, any final thoughts or shout-outs for the week?
Yeah, moving sucks.
Yep.
It sucks amazingly. I probably have spent almost 2.5 grand this week alone on just renters insurance, the application fees, the application for the renters insurance, the down payment on the fucking apartment.
Highly recommend renters insurance. I got sued for 150 grand when I was younger, and because I didn't.
Yeah, we don't need that here. We just have laws that protect us.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Renters insurance isn't to not get kicked out. It's for damages.
I will say they're charging me a $25 a month fee for trash collection. Otherwise I have to take my trash to the dump myself.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's normal.
Where do you live?
That's
Like
kind of
North Carolina or something?
Yeah.
Do you think I just get my trash randomly hauled away for me?
Yeah,
no,
again,
it's part
that
of
is
my...
a normal thing for me.
It's part of my. It's part of the water bill. Like it's part of my gas and water. It's all in there.
Put your bags out your front door, and the council comes and collects it. It's nice.
Exactly. Yeah, it's great.
Well, it's nice is in my county I get heavy trash collected at no additional cost. So if I want to put a couch out there, I can.
We don't have much. Okay. I was about to ask the definition of heavy trash. Yeah.
So the big appliances, beds. Like there's certain things that it can't take, but like appliances, beds, big furniture, things like that.
Also,
take away once a month.
With the sheer amount of shit I have in my room that I have to pack over the next week or so, it's
oh my god, it's one room. Yes. I have moved from one house to another, and somehow I fill up 3 bedrooms and 2 living rooms.
I've had to leave,
and it's just me.
I've had to send several things, like a lot of my stuff, to my parents' house for storage. Like, you just accumulate stuff, and when you move, you're like, how did I fit all this?
I've done a couple of international moves, and I'll tell you what, you just learn, like, these are the things that matter to me, and everything else is getting binned.
That's the question I'm asking myself right now is, how do I own this much shit?
You only have a room's worth of stuff.
I know, but I still...
That's
you don't
not
have
a lot.
kitchen appliances. You don't have bathroom.
Some of that stuff you'll have to get. Anyways, I will wrap us up today. So reminder, we have here at INN, we do have many other shows. Weekends on Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern time, we have Push to Talk with Eric and the crew. at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Y'all gonna have to figure out your own time zones. I don't care. That would be Brisk and Mark Resurrectus hang out on the Meta Show, having a good time. Keep an eye out. We do have random streams every now and then. Dave is going to be streaming occasionally for new games and stuff. And we are trying to bring on more people. So if you are interested in streaming and would like a platform to kind of get started, reach out to Dave or somebody else, not me. And I hope everyone has a great weekend. Thank you for all joining us. Thank you for our guests coming. And I hope that this new patch is fun and we have more stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.